Hello, my name's Jeremy Deller and I'm an artist, and I have an exhibition just over here at the Hayward Gallery. It's bits and bobs of this and that, really. Ephemera almost. Almost an archive from my 20 years of making things. Or trying not to make things, but trying to do things. I think that's probably a better way of looking at it. The show is called Joy in People. By accident, almost. It's what someone said to me after I gave a talk. And I'd never really thought of it in those terms. There is a bit of joy in this exhibition, but there's a lack of joy in certain areas, especially downstairs. It's not a 100% joyful show, I hope. I wouldn't want that. They're public things, aren't they, banners? They're meant to be seen, they're meant to be seen in public. So I've always enjoyed or liked looking at banners that people have made on demos and marches. And they're a form of folk art or vernacular art or whatever you want to call it. Working with the brass band made me realise I could work with people rather than with things, and I didn't have to make things anymore. Working with them just changed the way I work, liberated me from having to make objects and do exhibitions. And that's how I've continued, more or less, doing these collaborative projects, working with the public or working with people who have a specialist knowledge or skill.
His way of working, his way of collaborating with different kinds of groups has been enormously influential over the last couple of decades. He's an artist who's really changed some of the rules of the game, and it was time for him to have a retrospective of this nature.
It's not just about putting something on a wall, it's about remaking something, remaking an environment or an experience. You will be able to have a cup of tea for free in the exhibition. Part of the show is a facsimile of a snack bar in Bury Market. You can go there and have a cup of tea and a chat and a sit down.
And we're sitting in Valerie's Cafe, which was a parade float, right, in the procession you did in Manchester. In the other gallery, you've got an incredible mural of the exotic wrestler Adrian Street. You've got banners everywhere, day glow, posters. There's kind of a festive carnival feeling to this show.
It is.
Is that something that's important to you?
It is, I think it is, and I suppose it goes with the title of the show. The show is quite colourful and inviting, but within the show there are moments of darkness, if you want to put it like that.
I think it's that interesting mix, and you've called it yourself, you've used the term social surrealism. But it's that interest in in things that have a carnival-like quality, with also an interest in social history.
Yes, which are not often put together, maybe, because one is seen as low culture and the other one is seen as history, as you say. But
Very serious.
yes, wars and strikes and social moments in social history, specific moments. Of course, I can't help myself, and I have to sort of bring a lightness to it, or to bring a different aesthetic to it. Maybe that's what I'm trying to do. Talk to people about the miners' strike, and for some men, that was the greatest moment in their lives. That year was the best fun they'd ever had, even though it destroyed their lives because of how it was. And it's similar if you talk to people about going to war. The car is obviously incredibly grim. There's no getting around it, and it's good to have that in the show. I think it's good to puncture the atmosphere of playfulness as well, which is important. People have always been engaged and interested and fascinated by it. So here we are at the Natural History Museum in Oxford, which is my favourite building in Britain, and possibly one of my favourite museums as well. Museums like this were very important when I was growing up. It's where I spent a lot of time, and I think probably have had a great influence on what I have ended up doing with my life and how I look at objects and the world and culture and so on. It's a very good way for me to clear my head and just start fresh, really. Start looking at things as anyone else would. Ideas can come from that. The main reason I became interested in bats was coming to a museum like this, where they had a skeleton of a bat. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. It looked amazing. so delicate. I thought it was the most beautiful thing. It's turned into a 3D film of bats leaving a cave in Texas, and it's thousands, hundreds of thousands of bats leaving a cave, if not millions. And the only way you could really convey the enormity and the overwhelmingness, that is a word, of these bats leaving the cave was to film in 3D. It's like not even 3D can contain this force of nature. It has to be seen in a dark place, like the cave where the bats come out. It's almost a film as a small event. There's no voiceover, there's no explanation of what's actually going on. It's pretty primal in that respect. It's meant to be a very primal, visceral scene of nature. Unfortunately, I will probably be one of those artists that will come back and just look at the public around the work to see if it's okay. I'm just warning you.
So you'll be haunting the exhibition?
It will haunt me, and I will haunt it. But it's okay. But I'm always interested to see how the public react to things, and what they like and what they don't like. That's part of the work almost. It's the reaction and the play between the public and the work.